Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're well. My name is Ben Cooper, and I'm the primary principal here at GEMS Wellington Academy Alcale. It's a pleasure to have you online today. The purpose of today is all about just touching base with you as new families. We've not forgotten about you. I know you're thinking about September, and we just want to touch base and give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have, and just to share some information about how you and your family can prepare for joining the academy. At the end of August, the very end of August and beginning of September. Just before we begin, just a bit of housekeeping. Obviously, we are recording this session. So like I said, if you prefer your face not to be seen, then that's absolutely fine. You can turn your cameras off. But equally, if you are happy to have your cameras on, it's great to see as many faces as possible. If you do have any questions, then just pop them in the chat. Make sure your microphones are on mute, just so that all the speakers can be heard clearly by everybody. And yeah, pop your questions in the chat, and we'll either answer them directly in the chat as we go along, or we can answer them at the end of the session today. Okay. So welcome everybody to GEMS Wellington Academy Alcale, and this webinar is just a chance to touch base with you all, give you an opportunity to ask me questions, and just give you a few bits of information on things you should be thinking about between now and August. As I say, my name is Ben Cooper, I'm the primary principal. I've been here for 8 years out of the 9 years that the school has been in operation, so I'm, I think, part of the furniture now. But I just wanted to very quickly introduce you to and talk to you about what we're about at the Academy as a whole. Yesterday, I spoke to our new foundation stage parents for our 3, 4 and 5-year-olds. And I'm just going to share a very similar message with you as primary parents. Our vision is split into 3 pillars. And the first one is the science of learning. And what we really mean by that is providing outstanding education for our students through outstanding teaching and learning. All our teachers and staff members engage with what's referred to as the science of learning, which is basically what science and research tells us on how students and people learn best. So our teachers are experts in understanding how the brain works, have engaged with neuroscience research, that all our teachers can really make the most of all our students' learning processes, their brain, to really ensure that we get the most out of every single student. And of course, that also starts with making sure that our students are happy, our students are comfortable and feel safe, because the brain functions best when it is most comfortable and ready to learn. The second pillar is social enterprise, and that really refers to our curriculum. We want all children to develop skills and attributes that will allow them to be successful in the future. We want them to think entrepreneurial. We don't all necessarily want them all to be businessmen and women, although it'd be amazing if they were. But at the same time, we want them to develop those entrepreneurial skills, that creativity, that team leadership, that confidence in their own ideas, the ability to problem solve and think about solutions, the ability to strategically plan out how they're going to get from one position to another. And we want to do that with a kind of social entrepreneurial mindset, where they're thinking about others, they're taking care of each other, and they're thinking about how they're going to make a positive difference in the world, in whatever field or in whatever way that might be. So we want children to participate in charity and doing great things for the community. And then the final aspect of that is student agency. And that's really about asking children to take ownership of their learning. We want children to feel proud of what they do, to aspire to be better, continually strive for their targets and their next steps. We want them to really own their own learning and start to make choices about what they want to learn about. And with that comes their innovation, start to think about what they're going to do differently, how they're going to change and adapt to really make the most out of their experience here. And we ask for that from our staff members, and we ask for that for our students as well. So that's a very brief introduction of what we're about as a whole in the Academy, but today is really about just giving you a few pointers and a few pieces of information that might be useful in the run-up to you joining the next academic year. Like I say, if you have any questions, pop them into the chat. We'll do our best to answer them. I'm now going to hand you over to our fantastic primary team, who are going to introduce themselves and lead the rest of the session.
Thanks so much, Ben. Appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joseph Flynn, and I am one of the primary vice principals here at the Academy. With us today, we have Philip and Georgina, and I'll let them introduce themselves in a second. So just to reiterate what Ben said there, please write in the chat any questions that you have. and both Phil and Georgie will update those and answer those as best we can as we go on through the presentation. And then at the end, I'll kind of do an overview, and if there's any further questions, you can come on and speak and ask those questions, or we'll answer any further ones in the chat. Today is just going to go through some of the main pointers that we feel for you as new parents need to know about, and hopefully to put any worries at ease. And we'll go through all of those quite clearly through the webinar this morning. So what I'll do now is I'll pass you over to Phil, who will introduce himself.
Thank you, Joseph. Welcome to all of our new families. It's nice to see lots of you in the session today. As Joseph mentioned, my name is Mr. Phil Waterworth. I am the primary assistant principal, or one of the primary assistant principals, and I currently oversee upper primary, so that is years 4, 5 and 6. And I also take a lead on assessment and data and student outcomes for students across the primary setting as well. Okay, it's lovely to meet you all, and I will be returning in a couple of slides time, but I'm going to pass you over to Miss Georgina Bradley.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. It's lovely to meet you. I'm Georgina Bradley. I'm another one of the assistant principals here at Wellington Alkale. My current responsibility is with lower primary, that's year groups 1, 2 and 3, and also behaviour and culture here at WEC. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. We've got a few things that we can talk about together. Wellington Alkale follows the national curriculum for England in the primary school. So the primary school, although we have lower and upper primary stages, it's actually organised into 2 blocks. So Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2. Key Stage 1 are year groups 1 and 2, and Key Stage 2 is 3, 4, 5 and 6. The children in the academy here take part in a number of class teacher lessons. They have English and maths every single day, science twice a week. We also have a computing lesson. Moral, social and cultural studies is also a core subject here. We have a connected curriculum, which is theme-based learning, and we have a STEAM and robotics lesson as well. We have a fantastic makerspace here at the academy, and each of the different year groups has a different technology that they are tasked with using and throughout the year. We also have some specialist lessons here. We have Arabic, Islamic and French. French is once a week, as is music with our specialist music teachers. We have a fantastic PE and sports department and swimming team. So the children have 1 lesson of PE and 1 lesson of swimming a week. If you've seen the pools, we have 3 amazing pools in our School of Excellence, Swimming School of Excellence. And also as part of their transition over to the secondary, our year 6 children also take part in drama lessons. Those are in the secondary department for drama and with the secondary teachers. So it just helps to ease those children over into the secondary department. We have a house system here at the academy as part of our behaviour system, as a way of children to earning house points. At the beginning of each year 2 and year 5, as part of their leadership roles, the children are able to nominate themselves to become a house captain. We have lots of leadership opportunities here at Wellington Alkale, but one of them is to become a house captain. And it's really wonderful to see the year 2 house captains working with the year 5 house captains to promote our house system. The children can earn points for their house using the Class Dojo system. They earn points according to our HPL learning system. So for a lot of our values that the children take part in the classroom, for their hard work, agility, etc. We also have a number of sporting events where children take part in their house teams. All of that goes towards our house points, which are announced every week, and the children celebrate at the end of each term with the house winner. A uniform is our next slide, and if I just go back to the house system, on our PE uniform, it's really important to note which house your child is in, because that will come into the uniform slide next. So with our house system, the children are able to wear ties if they're boys and scarves if they're girls, and these are in their house colours. So as soon as you know the house of your child, please get them the correct colour tie and colour scarf. The boys and girls in 1 to 4 have the same uniform. They have a blue shirt, and the boys have shorts and the girls have a skirt. We also have a lovely summer dress for those hot weather. And then the only difference between the year 1, 2, 3 and 4 uniform and the 5 and 6 is in 5 and 6 the girls wear a neck scarf as opposed to a crossover tie. The boys are also expected to wear trousers. Okay. And the PE uniform is very similar. So these are all sold in Threads stores throughout Dubai. They can also be ordered online. The system online is very easy to order, and they are able to tell you whether or not they have it in stock as well. So the swimsuits, again, have to have the house colours, and the PE tops, they have them on the house colours on the sleeves. The children are required to bring in a hat as well, just in case the weather is too hot or they're out in an area that's not shaded. We are starting from September, all children are expected to have a Wellington bag. Again, this can be in their house colours. As part of our health and safety here at Wellington Al Khail, we don't allow wheel-along bags in the primary classrooms, only because it's really difficult for the children sometimes to be manoeuvring around. So it's really important that the children have the correct uniform and that they can that can be purchased over the summer holidays. Okay. And now for our extracurricular activities, I'll hand you over to Mr. Waterworth.
Thank you very much, Miss Bradley. Yeah, so our extracurricular activities, these are a fantastic opportunity for students to partake in sessions outside of the classroom. So we have 2 types of extracurricular activities. We have those that are unpaid and delivered by staff within school internally, so ranging from our leadership team to classroom teachers to our inclusion teachers. And we also have paid ECAs as well, where external companies will come into school and they will lead an activity that parents can pay for their students to attend. Now, there's a couple of differences between them both. So the unpaid, which is led internally, they will take place on a after school, and they will take place on a Tuesday, Wednesday and a Thursday. However, a paid external ECA opportunities, they actually take place on all nights of the week. They even take place on weekends, and they can be signed up to in the school holidays as well. We do send out an ECA menu to all parents at the start of the term. This gives you an opportunity to look at all the ECAs that we have on offer. And there is a wide range and abundance of ECAs that you can sign up to on each evening. And then this gives you an opportunity to sit down with your child or children and decide on which ECAs you would like the students to attend. As I said, that for the primary phase, these all take place after school. So from 3:10 till 4:10, the internal and external from during the week. As the school day finishes at 12 on a Friday, the ECAs will start straight after the school day has finished, but that's only for our paid ECAs. With regards to these, there's a wide range of opportunities here, from sports to vocation activities to academics, and even as far as performing arts as well, creativity, getting into the food technology rooms as well. There is a wide range of ECA opportunities for students to sign up to. Next, I just want to talk about the STS, which is our school transport service. Okay, now these are an external company, but they work alongside a range of schools across Dubai, and James Wellington Al Khail is one of those schools. In terms of finding STS whilst at school, they are based in the foyer, so that our main reception on the right-hand side, they have their own office space, and they can be contactable daily as well. Okay, there is an extra cost for using the school transport services, and if you do reach out to Abhijit and his team, they will be able to provide you further information regarding extra cost and with regards to pickup points in and around Dubai. Okay, there is a range of locations that the company do pick up from in order to bring students to school and to take them home after school as well. Students on a morning normally arrive between 7:15 and 7:40 if they are taking the bus, and then they depart school no later than 3:20 on a Monday to Thursday, and at 12:15, 12:20 on a Friday. The next slide I'm going to talk about is to do with Slices. So again, Slices is another external company. They are a food company. However, they really support the school in providing snacks and lunches for students across the academy. There are three options. So number one is a pre-packed lunch. This is a packed lunch that you as parents would create. That doesn't involve the Slices team. That is what you can decide to do if you would like your child to have a lunch that you have prepared for them. However, if you would like to use the Slices company, there are a couple of options that are available to you. So one of which is pre-ordering food, and this is then delivered to the students in their classrooms. So each week you can pre-order food for the following week and not have to worry about it for that week because it's already been finished and done. And that food, as I said, will be delivered directly from the Slices team to the students in the classrooms, okay? There is an option as well, as we do have a cafeteria at school for our year 3 and 6 students only. They have the opportunity to bring in money, or you can make use of our cashless system by topping up your child's account with money, and they can then pay for their food at the cafeteria on a day-by-day basis, okay? We are a healthy eating, we do promote healthy eating. We do have a healthy eating policy, okay? There is lots and lots of research. Being an overseer of assessment and progress, attainment and student outcomes, there's lots of research out there that suggests that the type of food that you eat is really, really important and impactful on learning within the classroom, not only with your attention skills, but also with your performance. So we do have a healthy eating policy. We promote healthy eating in the classroom. We have healthy eating monitors who are set up in each class, and they will award house points for those students who are bringing in healthy snacks each day. We have a no nuts or pork policy as well at school. And we also talk about water bottles as well, really important, especially in the summer months, to make sure that water is stocked up. So 1 water bottle per day, but on PE days, you might want to think about having 2 water bottles. We do have water dispensers dispersed all around the school that students have access to. If they run out of water, they can fill this up as well. Now, within our healthy eating policy, as much as we'd like to promote that healthy eating, we do have one day of the week where we have a treat, and we call that Treat Tuesday, where students can bring in 1 small treat to have during their snack or lunch. Thank you. I'm going to pass you over to Mr. Flynn.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate that. So as I say, just as a reminder to parents, there's a few people popping in and out of the Zoom there just now. So obviously this is recorded, so please don't worry. I know it's quite a lot of information, but it is all recorded, and we will send out the presentation to you as well. So please don't worry about that. We've touched upon this a little bit with regards to school timings, but just to go through each of the year groups. So from year 1 to year 4, well, for the whole of the primary school, the whole of the school, the doors open at 7:15 in the morning. We have a 35-minute window between 7:15 and 7:50 for the children to enter school. And then after 7:50, the children would be deemed as late if they arrive to school after 7:50, because our lessons will start at 8 o'clock. So we have a 10-minute registration period between 7:50 and 8 o'clock. And then our lesson 1 will start at 8 o'clock. Obviously, attendance and punctuality is incredibly important, and it's something which is put onto our school reports at the end of the year as well. For years 1 to 4, those children finish at 2:45. And for year 5 and 6, those children finish at 3 o'clock. And our secondary school children finish at 3:10. So we've made that change for years 5 and year 6 to give them a little bit of help with that transition before they move up to the secondary school. Obviously, we have a sibling club as well. So if you have a child in, for example, in year 2 and a child in year 5, obviously we want you to be able to do one pickup at one time rather than having to do 2 or to wait around. So rather than doing coming up and picking your child at 2:45, waiting for 15 minutes to then pick your child up at year 5 at 3 o'clock, you can come and pick them both up from the same place at 3 o'clock and do it as one pickup at the same time. On a Friday, as Mr. Waterworth mentioned there earlier, it's obviously across Dubai now that 12 o'clock is the finish. So it's the same time in the morning, but the whole school finishes at 12 o'clock on a Friday. And then, as well as Mr. Waterworth said earlier on, our ECAs are between 3:10 and 4:10, which are straight after school Tuesday to Thursday. But of course, we also have the paid ECAs as well, which happen throughout the week, as well as weekends as well. Some general information which we feel is important for you to hear. Now, obviously, Miss Bradley talked about uniform, and we want the children to be dressed for success. That's what we call it. And we actually have some stickers that we give to those children who gain house points for that as well. There is a uniform policy, and we follow that policy, and it's very important that you as families follow that as well, and with the children. We do ask that the children come into school in their PE kits on their PE day. And also, if it's swimming, we ask the children to bring their swimming kit into school. Some of our children, what we do with the timetable, we make sure that our younger children have swimming probably first in the first couple of periods. It's definitely for our FS children and maybe some of our year 1 and year 2 children. So it's absolutely fine for them to wear their swimming costume under their uniform if they have that in the morning. Just a reminder that swimming at the school is mixed gender from FS1 to year 6 before they move to secondary school. We do ask, please, that all items are labelled, okay, and please including shoes, uniform, lunch boxes, water bottles. Things do go missing, and it's so important that those things are just labelled. So we would ask you to do that for us, please. Also, part of which you can get in threads as well for children to bring in their Wellington hats every day for outdoor playtimes. It does get hot, obviously, especially in the summer months. There's a period between where obviously it is too hot to go out, but obviously the weather is starting to creep up in those months building up to the summer, where we obviously still want the children to be outside in shaded areas, but obviously for them to wear their hats as well. Our aim is for 100% attendance, okay? And obviously we talked about the attendance and punctuality being on the school reports. If you are going to be absent or your child is going to be absent that day, we would ask that you email the class teacher, and we have part of our admin team, someone who works on absences, and I'll give you all of those email addresses in a couple of slides' time. Also, pick up and drop off, again, getting those children into the routines, making sure that their punctuality is there, that they're not late and they're there arriving in school is so important for them to start the day on time. And we do ask that obviously you're collecting the children on time as well. Obviously those children can get a little bit worried, which is fine, but we do ask if for any reason we understand there could be maybe an accident on the road and there's traffic, as there is always in Dubai, but making sure, please just call ahead and please let our reception team know or your class teacher know if for any reason maybe you're going to be late in the morning or after school as well. Obviously, we have a school doctor and 3 nurses on site here at the academy. So our school doctor, she is a family doctor and here to help. They've been very, very busy over the last couple of years, obviously throughout COVID. And obviously they are here to support our families. We are a community school. So please make sure any medical issues that you have, again, I will share our school doctor's email with you to make sure that we report that to her. And then the last thing, which is really, really important, if you are going to use STS and the bus service, it's to please contact the school as early as possible if your child's not going to use the bus that day. We've had examples in the past where a class teacher has been emailed just before 3 o'clock. That teacher is teaching at that time and said, please don't send my child onto the bus. That child has obviously already gone to the bus. So it's really, really important that you do let both the class teacher and the reception team and the STS team know if you're going to come to school to pick up your child and for them to not go on the bus. Okay, we need to make sure the communication is really clear, and that's really important for us. As I talked about, so this is kind of a who to contact page. And so our reception team, which hopefully all of you have been for a tour of the school and you would have met our reception team. And this is their email address, both Jade and Karis on the front desk, who will be able to help you with anything. Our absence email. So again, if you are going to be absent, we have an absence team who look after that, so you could email them. Obviously our doctor, and this is the email for our medical clinic. We have our registration team with Lena and Kim, which again, hopefully if you obviously have re-enrolled in the school, you would have met both Lena and Kim. And this is their joint email address, that anything that needs to be sent can go to those. As Phil said earlier with STS, is Abhijit's email address. Again, anything to do with STS and the school transport service is obviously separate to the school, but they are based in the foyer area. Our finance team, again, our cashier is based in the same office as our STS service, and that's their email address there. Jacqueline, who you will get to know because she is our parent relations executive. So Jacqueline is in charge and a point person for all our parents. And as you walk into the reception area, she's just on your left-hand side. And it's really, really important that she knows all of our families. And if you have any worries or anything you want to speak to us about, then we can go through Jacqueline as our PRE. And lastly, we have Jemana, who's our government relations executive. So she works with the KHDA in the ministry. And obviously when you're signing up to the school, she's there to help on those side of things as well. So these are kind of the 8 kind of really important email addresses, which I would say to keep hold of. Make a note of them maybe in your phone or print it off and stick it up on the fridge at home. But it's really, really important to obviously your class teacher's email. When you know who your teacher is, you'll receive that. But apart from that, these kind of 8 email addresses on top of the ones you saw at the start from Mr. Cooper and myself, Georgie and Phil, these will be the ones which will be really, really important for you to know. A couple of dates for your diary as we build up to the end of the year and to start with us next year. So approximately the week beginning the 13th of June, times and exact day to be confirmed, there will be a Meet the Team Zoom session. So if your child is going into year 5, the whole year 5 team will be on that Zoom session, and they will talk about more specifics of year 5, the curriculum, everything that they will do that year. So there is a Meet the Team session on Zoom coming up on the 13th of June. On Thursday, the 23rd of June, we have our Step Up Day, as we call it. So where the children go up to their new teacher. And obviously we would like to invite you in for that as well, if you are in the country and if you are around for that. And again, don't worry about school uniform for that if you don't have school uniform yet. We would just ask for you to come in, and it'll be lovely for your child to meet their new classmates as well as their teacher and spend kind of the morning getting to know them as well. So it's really, really important. If you are around for that day, don't worry, we will send you more information on that closer to the time, but just pop that date in your diary for now. Then obviously after the summer holidays, Monday, the 29th of August, now that will be the first day, and that will be just new students. Okay, so we welcome all our new students into the academy just for that morning and a few hours in the morning. Again, just another transition day and morning for them. They will come with meet their new teacher, obviously, again, and see them again, meet some other of the new children in that year group. We'll give them a tour of the school. They'll be doing some activities just to get them used to kind of that settling in period before all of the children start on the day after, on Tuesday the 30th. So that's just a few dates for the diary for you. So please take a note of those, and don't worry, more information will come over the couple of weeks regarding these events. But it'll be good for you just to kind of take a screenshot or know these dates and note them down. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I think there's been a few questions which have gone into the chat room, which I think hopefully have been answered. Does anybody have any further questions? Please feel free to come on and turn your mic off, or turn your mic on even, and ask any questions. Or if there's any further questions in the chat that we can answer, and we will stay here for a few minutes. If not, then please feel free to exit the webinar. I just want to say thank you very much for joining us this morning. I hope that we've gone all the things that we have, the questions that maybe been answered in your head, or any worries that you may have had. And like I say, we will send you the recording, and we will send you the presentation as well, just so you have that for your own reference. So I open up the floor if there is any questions. If not, please feel free to head off.
Just thank you very much for your webinar. See you in school.
Perfect. Thank you, Pavlos. Appreciate that. Is there going to be a similar webinar for secondary? I believe that there will be, yes. I will speak to Gemma Thornley, who is our principal for the secondary school, and I will find out the date for that as well. All right, so don't worry, there should be one for the secondary as well. Which year group was it, Kataki?
For year 10.
Year 10, perfect. So I will get Miss Thornley to contact you to find out when that will be, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you.
No worries at all.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Have a good day ahead.
Thanks, Kataki. Appreciate that.
Bye-bye.